D'Alene started 17 IndyCar races from 1914 to 1922 and got a best finish of second place at both the Indianapolis 500 and Cincinnati in 1916. He later worked as a mechanic for the Pierce Motor Company and as a tire developer and seller. Here he sits in his car at Indianapolis in 1916, where he started 10th. Calahan entered 4 IndyCar races in 1914 but failed to qualify for each of them. However, he does have the distinction of being the first person from Texas to enter the Indianapolis 500. In 1913, he served as Louis Disbrow's riding mechanic at the 500, finishing 8th. Here is Calahan serving as Disbrow's riding mechanic in 1913. Klemos was an engineer who entered a car of his own design at Indianapolis in 1930, but he failed to qualify due to the engine seizing in practice. This was his only national championship appearance. He later suffered from ill health and died in a sanitarium in 1935. No picture is available. Mauro was a car dealer from Colorado who was the sole Ferrari importer in the Denver area and also created the United States Truck Driving School. He competed in the national championship from 1946 to 1954, starting 8 races out of 15 entries, all of which were either the Indianapolis 500 or in the state of Colorado. Mauro's best finish was a second at the 1951 Pikes Peak Hill Climb. Unfortunately, Mauro was killed in a car crash in 2003. Here he is after qualifying for the 1948 500, where he started 33rd but finished 8th. Thomas was a sprint car and midget driver and owner who won the 1966 CRA Sprint Car Championship. He entered 6 IndyCar races in 1967 and 1968, but only started at Langhorne in 1968, finishing 15th. The reason Thomas started was that enough cars retired from the first race of the doubleheader that cars that initially failed to qualify were added to the field. He has since worked as a sprint car builder and driver manager. Here he sits in his car at Indianapolis in 1967, where he failed to qualify. Frey was a sprint car driver who won the Little 500 in 1980, 1987, 1988, 1989, and 1990. He also entered 11 IndyCar races from 1980 to 1983, starting 3 of them. Frey would get a best finish of 13th place at Phoenix in 1981. He later operated a morgue in Wickenburg, Arizona. Here is Frey at Indianapolis in 1981, where he failed to qualify.